no end to grief. Turkey is allegedly an ally of ours, sometimes at best a recalcitrant ally, particularly when it comes to that relationship. We'll explore that a little bit more, but right now I'd like to recognize Senator Kaine.
Thank you, and I'll be brief because I'm going to ask you about something I bet you've covered a whole lot while I was toggling between two other hearings and this one. But that is with respect to the sanctions. It sounds like there's a pretty good consensus here that we shouldn't miss this opportunity to engage with the new Syrian government. If we are too slow in engaging or too miserly in engaging, we run the risk of creating a vacuum that others will fill who are adversaries. And one of the keys to this is the sanctions, Caesar sanctions, that are currently in place. I should know the answer to this question, but I don't. To what extent can sanctions be lifted? I think we all agree that they should be lifted in a phased way based on performance criteria, but to what extent can they be lifted by the administration versus would there need to be congressional action to lift sanctions?
I can answer that. That won't take congressional action. When we passed the bill, it was as anything you pass, the president won't sign it unless he has full authority to put them on, take them off, and we're good there.
My understanding, and correct me on this if I'm wrong, is that that is the case for most of the sanctions, but there may have been sanctions directed against individuals that the administration could not waive and that would need congressional action. Is that right or not?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. If I could offer what I think the different layers of decisions are. First of all, what the executive branch can do now is think through more waivers or an expanded waiver beyond what it's done with General License 24, not necessarily to permanently lift sanctions, but basically to get out of the way so that allies or partners that we would like to see engaging in Syria responsibly can do that. Number two, it's the state-level sanctions that are preventing economic recovery and stabilization in Syria. One of the big ones is that under Assad, Syria was designated as a state sponsor of terrorism. That would require executive action. The Caesar Act has several criteria in it for the executive branch to determine if the government of Syria, then the Assad government, has met certain benchmarks in order to receive sanctions relief. And here I think there's clearly an active role for members of Congress who were the initiators of this very important piece of legislation to engage about what their intent is for measured sanctions relief.
Well, I hope that we might do something together as a committee to express an opinion to the administration. It does seem like there's a lot of meeting of the minds on this side.
And I agree with that, Senator Kaine. I think that the administration has wide authority here. Having said that, because of the Caesar legislation we passed and others, they're going to be looking for us, and I think I'm going to be anxious to give them I already have given part of my input on this. So I think your inquiry is absolutely valid, but I don't think that is a problem. I really don't. So, but thank you for that. Thank you. Let's see, Senator McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to our speakers today. Michael, good to